Ladies, there's a quiet revolution happening all around us. One that defies outdated expectations and rewrites the narrative of what it means for a woman to live alone. No longer seen as lonely, lacking, or left behind, these women are thriving. They are not waiting for companionship to validate their existence. They are not settling into silence. They are rising into freedom. Each one has chosen solitude not as an escape, but as a statement, a declaration of independence, self-worth, this stage broy. In this world where being partnered is often praised as the ultimate goal. These 5 types of women have discovered a deeper kind of fulfillment. A happiness that's rooted not in who stands beside them, but in how completely they stand in their own truth. Before we begin, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any video. Number 1. The independent trailblazer. The independent trailblazer is not just a woman who lives alone. She is a force of nature who chooses solitude as a form of empowerment, not isolation. In a world that often encourages women to define themselves through relationships, she boldly chooses to define herself on her own terms. Her joy here doesn't come from the absence of others but from the presence of full autonomy. She thrives in the space where her decisions are hers alone, where she answers to no one but herself. Whether it's deciding how to decorate her living space, planning her daily routine, or choosing which dreams to chase next, every decision is a reflection of her values, her desires, and her voice, unfiltered and uncompromised. She walks a path that may not always be understood by others, but that's precisely what makes her journey so extraordinary. This woman doesn't need validation from anyone to feel worthy or fulfilled. She finds joy in the quiet power of saying, "This is my life, and I will shape it how I see fit." There is something incredibly energizing in her freedom. She may rise at dawn to write poetry, travel alone to hidden places, or spend evenings learning something new simply because it fascinates her. She follows her curiosity without permission. Her time is hers, her space is hers, and her life is a canvas she paints with bold, unapologetic strokes. Her home is more than just a place to live. It is a sanctuary. Every item on every shelf tells a story. The colors, the textures, the scents, the light that spills through the windows. They all reflect who she is without compromise. No debates over what color the curtains should be. No adjusting the thermostat to suit someone else's comfort. No background noise from conversations that drain her. She has mastered the art of creating a space that not only looks like her but feels like her. It is a place where her soul exhales and says, "This is right." But make no mistake, her independence is not rooted in bitterness or avoidance. It is rooted in clarity. She is not hiding from love. She simply refuses to settle for anything less than what enhances the life she has carefully built. She does not fear commitment, but she understands that the most important commitment she can make is to herself. Her peace, her purpose, her growth. If companionship comes, it must meet her on equal ground, without demanding that she shrink herself or sacrifice her freedom. There's a deep, grounding joy in how she moves through the world. She doesn't chase trends or approval. She sets her own pace. Society may still struggle to understand a woman who is content without the traditional markers of success, marriage, children, or partnership, but the independent trailblazer is unbothered by those expectations. She knows that real happiness is not performative. It's found in waking up each day knowing that you are living in alignment with who you truly are, that your choices are your own, that your time, your energy, your space, they are all protected by the fierce love you have for yourself. This woman is not lonely. She is luminous. Her solitude is not silence. It is a song that plays softly in the background of her life, reminding her of everything she has reclaimed. She has discovered that peace is a form of power, and in her solitude, she has found not emptiness, but fullness, not lack but abundance, not waiting, but living. And that, more than anything, is what makes her one of the happiest women alive. Number 2. The self-sufficient nurturer. The self-sufficient nurturer is a woman who has discovered that caregiving doesn't have to be tied to romantic relationships or traditional family roles. She nurtures not because she must, but because it is in her nature, and she chooses where, when, and how to direct that energy. Her happiness comes from knowing that she is capable of managing her own world with grace and intention. From running her household to structuring her days with care and purpose, she finds deep satisfaction in the rhythm of a life she has built and sustained on her own. Every task she completes, From preparing her favorite meal to maintaining her living space becomes a quiet act of love for herself and the life she values. To the outside world, her lifestyle might seem uneventful, but there is understated strength in her simplicity. She doesn't live alone out of necessity or retreat. She lives alone because she knows the value of her peace and has chosen to guard it. She is her own anchor. Her home is a sanctuary where she is not overwhelmed by the noise of expectations or emotional demands from others. She has created an atmosphere of calm where she can breathe, think, and truly be herself without interruption. It's not about being anti-relationship, it's about being pro-boundaries, pro-healing, and deeply in tune with her emotional well-being. Her nurturing spirit hasn't gone to waste. It's simply been redirected. She pours her energy into the things that bring her joy and meaning. For some, it's gardening or rescuing animals. For others, it's volunteering at local organizations or mentoring younger women. Some find joy in hosting friends for home-cooked meals, not as a duty, but as a chosen expression of warmth and care. She gives where she wants to give, not where she is told she should. And that distinction gives her a sense of power and balance that few truly understand. This woman has learned the value of solitude not as absence, but as opportunity. In her own company, she finds time to reflect, to grow, to rest. She isn't pulled in a dozen different directions. Her time is spent intentionally, and that intentionality fuels her contentment. She has discovered that living alone allows her to give her best to the world. Not from a place of depletion, but from a place of fullness. When she interacts with others, she does so because she wants to, not because she feels obligated. Her relationships are more authentic, more grounded, because they are not based on need, but on mutual respect and shared joy. There's also a quiet pride in how she moves through the world. Paying her own bills, making her own plans, managing her own time. These aren't burdens, they are badges of self-reliance. She has proven to herself that she doesn't need someone else to complete her life. She is already whole. Her home reflects that wholeness. It may not be lavish or picture perfect, but it radiates comfort, safety, and love, because she has poured those things into it, day by day. While many might assume that women like her are missing out on something, the truth is, she has found something far more rare: a life of calm, clarity, and confidence. Her nurturing doesn't come at the cost of her own well-being. She has learned that giving to yourself first isn't selfish. It's necessary. It's what allows her to be fully present for others when she chooses to be. In her solitude, she has found renewal. In her self-sufficiency, she has found pride. And in her nurturing spirit, she has found a way to love without losing herself. That is why she is so deeply, quietly, and beautifully happy living alone. Number 3, the creative visionary. The creative visionary is a woman who finds her deepest fulfillment in the sanctuary of solitude. For her, living alone isn't just a preference. It's a vital foundation for her creative life. The quiet she cultivates within her space is not emptiness. It is the fertile ground where ideas take root and blossom. Her home is more than a residence. It is a studio of the soul, a sacred space where thoughts are allowed to stretch out, evolve, and breathe without interference. She thrives in the stillness, where no one is interrupting her process or rushing her rhythm. Here, she can dive into the depths of her imagination without the pressure to explain, justify, or compromise. Each room in her home reflects her inner world. A notebook left open on the kitchen table, a half-finished painting by the window, books stacked beside her bed. Not clutter, but traces of passion and motion. She's not concerned with keeping things pristine for anyone's approval. Her space is alive, in motion, a mirror of the mind she nourishes daily. There's a sense of freedom in her environment, where inspiration can strike at any hour and be met with instant response. She doesn't need permission to rearrange her schedule around a creative burst or stay up until dawn working on something that sets her soul on fire. She answers to her muse, and no one else. This woman finds happiness not in the spotlight, but in the sacred act of creation itself. Whether she writes, paints, composes, researches, photographs, or designs, she understands that solitude is not a limitation but an invitation. An invitation to go deeper, to get lost in the details, to follow a thought or a feeling wherever it may lead. Distraction is the enemy of creative flow, and she has protected her world from it by choosing to live alone. She doesn't have to explain why she needs hours of silence, or why her routine might look strange to others. She knows that creativity often grows in unconventional soil. and she's made peace with living differently because she understands the reward. What makes her so happy is not just the work itself, but the ownership of her time and space. There is no one to interrupt a moment of inspiration, no one rearranging the energy of her environment, no one questioning the intensity with which she approaches her passion. Her solitude is not loneliness. It is alignment. She is in tune with her purpose, and everything about her lifestyle supports it. Every day she wakes up knowing that her energy can be poured directly into the work that matters most to her. That is a rare and precious kind of freedom, but she is not cut off from the world. When she steps out, she does so with intention. Her interactions are meaningful, not obligatory. She connects when she wants to, and retreats when she needs to. Her relationships are often rich and deeply rooted, but they don't crowd her inner space. People close to her know that her solitude is not a rejection. It is the wellspring from which she draws her magic. She is more present, more generous, and more inspired when she's had the space to be fully herself. Living alone has gifted her something invaluable, the ability to listen to her own voice above the noise. In a world constantly demanding attention and conformity, she has carved out a life where she can explore, create, and dream without limits. Her joy doesn't need validation. It radiates from the fulfillment of living in harmony with her creative calling. In her solitude, she is not waiting for something more. She is already immersed in what she loves, and in that space, quiet and utterly hers, she is brilliantly, undeniably happy. Number 4, the adventurous explorer. The adventurous explorer is a woman who finds happiness in the freedom to follow her curiosity wherever it leads. Living alone is not a limitation for her. It's a launch pad. It allows her to wake up one morning and decide to book a flight, take a road trip, or start a new class without negotiating plans or compromising her excitement. She thrives on spontaneity, and solitude gives her the flexibility to embrace it fully. There is no one to ask for permission, no schedules to sync, no debates about where or how to spend her time. Her life is her own, and that makes every new experience feel even more alive. She doesn't need grand plans to feel fulfilled. Sometimes, the adventure is simply trying a new recipe, exploring a nearby trail, or taking herself out for a solo dinner in a part of town she's never been. She's not afraid to venture into the unknown because she trusts herself deeply. That self-trust, nurtured by years of independent living, is what fuels her boldness. Every solo journey, every new language attempted, every skill explored becomes a quiet victory, a testament to her courage and capacity to grow. Her home, though often empty while she's out exploring, is never forgotten. It serves as her base camp, a cozy, welcoming place she returns to between adventures. She doesn't need a large house or lavish decor to feel rooted. Instead, she surrounds herself with items that hold stories and photos from past trips, mementos from different cultures, books that expanded her worldview. Her home is a reflection of the life she's lived and the places that have shaped her. It's not a space she hides in, it's a space she refuels in. There is joy in the fluidity of her days. She can plan a weekend getaway on a whim, stay up late learning about a topic that fascinates her, or spend an entire Sunday immersed in an online course. Her life is not dictated by someone else's expectations, timelines, or responsibilities. She gets to say yes or no without explanation, and that autonomy is at the heart of her contentment. She isn't lonely. She's energized. She's constantly feeding her soul through exploration, and that makes her magnetic to others who admire her zest for life. To her, adventure isn't always about miles traveled. It's about the newness of experience, the thrill of self-discovery, and the constant evolution of identity. She believes that life is too short to live on pause, waiting for someone to join her before she moves forward. She's not avoiding companionship, but she refuses to put her life on hold for it. She knows the value of seizing the moment it brings, and she understands that growth often happens when you step outside your comfort zone, something she does with grace and excitement. While others may feel weighed down by the idea of doing things alone, she feels lifted. Her solo travels are not signs of isolation. They are acts of liberation. Every destination she reaches, every challenge she overcomes on her own, reminds her that she is capable of so much more than she once believed. She is her own guide, her own motivator, her own companion on the journey. Her happiness is not rooted in the absence of people, but in the presence of possibility. She wakes up each day with the knowledge that she can shape it any way she chooses. That sense of unlimited potential, paired with her fearless heart, is what makes her truly radiant. Living alone hasn't held her back, it has unleashed her. And in every new experience, she finds a deeper sense of who she is and who she's becoming. For the adventurous explorer, that is the greatest joy of all. Number 5. The emotionally intelligent harmonizer. The emotionally intelligent harmonizer is a woman who has cultivated a profound sense of self-awareness, allowing her to move through life with clarity, tension, and grace. She doesn't live alone because she's disconnected from others. On the contrary, she values human connection deeply, but she knows that real connection starts from within. Her emotional intelligence allows her to recognize her own needs, honor her feelings without shame, and communicate with others in a way that is both authentic and respectful. Living alone supports this inner harmony by giving her the space to reflect, recharge, and engage with life from a place of fullness rather than depletion. Her happiness doesn't come from isolation, it comes from discernment. She knows when to seek out company and when to protect her energy. She has built a life where boundaries are not walls but respectful lines that preserve her peace and protect her well-being. Unlike many who fear solitude, she embraces it. She understands that being alone is not the same as being lonely. In fact, some of her most joyful moments happen in the quiet. The cup of tea at sunrise, the slow evening walks, the quiet journaling sessions where she processes her thoughts and emotions. These are the moments where she connects most deeply with herself, and from that place, she becomes better able to connect with others. Because she isn't entangled in a cohabiting relationship, she has the freedom to maintain her emotional balance without constant negotiation or compromise. Her space is her own, physically and emotionally. No energy to manage but her own, no unexpected emotional undercurrents to navigate. And yet, her life is far from empty. She is surrounded by a circle of chosen relationships, friends, family, colleagues, that she nurtures with care and presence. She listens deeply, speaks honestly, and supports generously, all because she has taken the time to know herself well and honor her limits. Her inner life is rich, layered, and well-tended. Whether she's reading, meditating, learning a new philosophy, or simply daydreaming, she finds satisfaction in her own company. She doesn't rush to fill silence with noise or fill space with people just to avoid discomfort. She has developed the emotional resilience to sit with herself and enjoy it. This self-containment allows her to love others without losing herself, to be present without being overwhelmed, and to give without being drained. What sets her apart is the intention behind everything she does. She chooses her interactions carefully, valuing quality over quantity. Her conversations go deeper. Her friendships feel more grounded, and her presence feels calming to those around her. Because she does not need constant external validation, she brings a sense of peace and confidence into every room she enters. She is not ruled by chaos or emotional volatility. She creates harmony through understanding, both within herself and in her relationships. Her independence isn't about rejecting love. It's about choosing love consciously. She won't settle for relationships that demand self-sacrifice over self-respect. She knows that when love is right, it won't feel like a loss of self. It will feel like an expansion of it. Until then, or even instead of that, she's perfectly content to continue building a life that is emotionally stable, intellectually rich, and deeply meaningful on her own terms. Living alone has allowed her to develop this emotional landscape without interruption. It has become a space for clarity, growth, and peace. She's not just surviving, she's flourishing. Her solitude is not a void to be filled but a vessel to be enriched. And in that space, she finds a deep, lasting happiness that many chase but few truly understand. She is not alone because she has no one. She is alone because she knows that her own company is enough, and everything else is a choice, not a need. These 5 women, the independent trailblazer, the self-sufficient nurturer, the creative visionary, the adventurous explorer, and the emotionally intelligent harmonizer, aren't simply living alone, they're living fully. They've broken free from the belief that happiness must be tied to partnership, and in doing so, they've created lives rich in purpose, peace, and passion. Their solitude is not a void. It's a powerful choice. A space for growth, creativity, freedom, and self-love. They remind us that wholeness isn't something you find in someone else. It's something you build within yourself. And when a woman lives alone by choice and thrives in that space, she becomes the purest example of strength complete, content, and unstoppable.